What is up, everybody? This is Eric, the one and only Barrier Collector, and today I am doing my July 2024 video game haul. And this month of July was actually an unexpected, cool month for my collection. I was surprised to get as many games as I did. I wasn't expecting it. Also, I went on a trip. My family and I went to Disneyland for the month for a week, and we had a fantastic time. Also met up with my friends, that I haven't seen in a while. I'm celebrating kids' birthdays and whatnot, celebrating my daughter's birthday. So happy belated birthday to my daughter, Alexis. Love you, baby girl. Hope you had a fun birthday. Also a belated birthday. Happy birthday to my son's friend, Lucas, who also, they both had birthdays a week apart. So it was really fun to meet up with friends and family and all sorts of things. But anyways, on with the enough with that rambling. On with the haul for the month of July. First things first is any digital purchases that I made for the month, and I did through Steam. I bought 8 games. The first one being Eternal Dreamers, I believe. God, it's really hard. Eternal Dreamers. Basically, this is a turn-based RPG game where you take battles, and it's in RPG form as well as making decisions. So it's kind of like a story driven, like a graphic novel, but with RPG elements. Let me go to this page, to the game page. You guys can see a little bit more about it. So it's free. I believe all of these games were free as of the making of this video when I bought them. So that's pretty much, a little bit of the game. Very RPG-ish, JRPG style. So yeah, that was one. The next one is another RPG called Excaliburian. See what this one's about. So it's a traditional turn-based RPG, like old school 8-bit, and then basically, to give you more details, okay, this is the one where actually you are giving a kingdom for you to run, but before you run the kingdom, your creator asks you to go on a quest to make sure that you're able to run it. So it takes place in the style of 8-bit RPG fantasy. So it looks really cool. It reminds me, a lot of these games are going to remind me of Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy for the NES. So yeah, that is one. This one is a 2D side-scrolling platformer called Jeffy's Adventure. The Jeffy game, sorry, not Jeffy's Adventure, the Jeffy game. So basically, you're Jeffy out to collect cereal boxes through 2D side-scrolling levels a la Mario style. So yeah, it's a fun little platformer that's out there for free right now. The next one, this one is called Plokoth. So Plokoth, yeah. Basically, this one right here is a 2D side-scrolling platformer. Basically, you have to rescue your girlfriend from a disease out in the deep jungle and find a cure for her. So it looks very interesting. This one reminds me of, what was that Metroidvania game that was very popular. I really enjoyed that one. Man, I can't think of the name, but it reminds me of a Metroidvania style game, but it looks more of a 2D action game. And then there's this one, Ram Bunny, another 2D side-scrolling platformer game. Basically, you're a Ram Bunny out to rescue a family of rabbits who have been captured by some evil people. And it's another Mario-style 2D platformer. Looks pretty fun. Can't beat being free for it being free. So yeah. And then of course we got this one is called Sorrow's End. This is another traditional RPG game, a fantasy RPG, which is based on the engine of RPG Maker. So basically, this one, a king passes away. He gets assassinated in a kingdom, and all the local kingdoms are up in an uproar, and they're all trying to gain control of this specific kingdom, and you're out there to figure out what's going on. So, really interesting game. Then this is another RPG game, space exploration game. You are a young captain whose home planet gets destroyed, and you're out there to save the galaxy with your crew of individuals, and go out there and try to see what's going on in the galaxy. And it's very turn-based strategy RPG style, but with, of course, graphic novel elements. So yes, and then finally, Wild Castle. This is like a small Game Boy style platformer. The way that I look at this one, it doesn't really say what the game's about, but the style of the game reminds me so much of Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle, which is the reason why you're supposed to collect all the keys in order to exit the stage. But yeah, those are my purchases, my digital downloads for the month of July. They were all free. All of them were free and available in the Steam as of, as of the making of this video. But now let's get on to the nitty gritty. Let's get on to the physical purchases of the month. Early on at the beginning of July, I went and visited the local retro store in Alameda, and I bought 3 games because they typically have a sale where you buy 2 get 1 free of any game that's $11.99 or less. First one that I got is Bump and Jump for the NES. This is an arcade-based game, action game. Got this one right here. This is one that has always been curious to me. But got this one. Next one I got Bubsy 2 for the Genesis. Now Bubsy 2 is for those of you who don't know, it's a series of games that are 2D side-scrolling platformers, very reminiscent of Sonic. But the games, apparently the games are not well received. Now, I know that back in the days, I had either part 1 or part 2, but for the NES. And I kind of liked it. I got close to the game, to beating the game, but unfortunately, I never passed it. So I want to give it a shot. And then this one, called Spin Dizzy Worlds, now for the SNES. This is a puzzle platformer where you're kind of like a top in an isometric area, and you're supposed to go around and open up all the areas to exit. This is a game I used to hear about it a lot back in the days when I was a kid, but I never really got the chance to play it. So I would hear it by name, but not really know what the game was about. And then, of course, I visited my local GameStop several times throughout the month. And the first time that I visited, I got this game that I wanted to get. It's an RPG of a series that I bought a couple of them earlier before, and it's Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. But I got it cheaper than that for the PS4. And yeah, got the whole game. And this is a series of RPGs that I really want to try out, see how it goes. Now, I did place an order of games that I bought online. And some of them I bought at AliExpress, of course, which are, reproductions. First one that I got is a game called Good Boy Galaxy for the Game Boy Advance. This game right here, it's an actual, like a Metroidvania 2D platformer style game. I actually started playing it a little bit. And it's a pretty cool game. You're a space cadet, good boy, out to repair your ship that got damaged after a battle, and you kind of you got separated from your crew, and you're out there looking for parts for your spaceship. Really cool game. This is a really fun game. This is actually a game that was developed after the fact for the Game Boy Advance. So yeah, really fun game. This one I've known for a while. It's an adult game, although it's a shooter, and that's Divine Ceiling for the Genesis. It's a shooter. Y'all can look at it. I don't know what the story is quite on the game. And I got it for super cheap. A lot of the Genesis games go for really cheap, the reproduction ones, and they work well. And I actually played it and beat it already. But it's a fun game, but it is what it is. I wanted to try it out myself. And then, of course, I got a couple more Game Boy reproductions, Game Boy Color games. This one is called Betty Zambella for the Game Boy Color. You're basically Baddie Zumbella, who's out to find out what happened to her husband. It's an actual point and click adventure game. Looks pretty comedic, really interesting, very reminiscent to games like Deja Vu and Shadowgate and whatnot, and The Uninvited. So let's see how that one goes. The next one, another Game Boy Color game, Magic and Legend Time Nights. This one is kind of like a Zelda style overhead adventure RPG game. I kind of don't know what the story is, but I know that it's a very Zelda oriented game, and it looked really fun to play. So yeah, got this one for a pretty decent price. And then finally, another RPG Zelda style game called Hime's Quest. Now this one, I believe this is one of the first games ever made by Crunchyroll, which this one is an actual anime. I've never seen it before. And you get to choose the colors of the cartridge, and I chose this one. So it looked pretty cool, kind of like a golden color. But yeah, can't wait to play these. These look really fun. And of course, I ordered a couple of, like I said, I ordered online. Because I got Bubsy 2, I had to get Bubsy. So yeah, for the Genesis. Gotta get the pair. I don't own it for the SNES, own it for Genesis now. And this is another game that I've been looking for a really long time. I used to have it back in the days. I made it close to the end, but never beat it, and I want to give it a shot. And that's Garfield Caught in the Act for the Genesis. This is one that I really enjoyed back in the days when I was a kid, but I never had the chance to finish it. So I really want to get back and playing on that one. And this one, of course, I found it once at that Alameda retro store, and ever since then, I could not find a copy. They swear up and down that it was in the counter, but I could never find it. I would look for it, and it's not a very uncommon game, but I just couldn't find it out there in the wild recently. So yeah, let's see what else I got. This game I bought online for really, really cheap. They had it more expensive, but then I learned what this game was about, and it's a very interesting game. Is DC Justice League Cosmic Chaos, of course, with a PS5 upgrade, which is awesome. Basically, this is based on the DC kids. I don't know if it's on the kids cartoon show, but it's a beat 'em up adventure game. And when I saw the game reviews of it, it looked pretty decent, and it was going for really cheap online. So definitely this is one to play. Maybe play with my kids because it's a multiplayer game. It will be fun. Another game I got super cheap online that I wanted to play because I have most of them already. It's Fallout 76 for the Xbox One. Can't wait to play this one. I started watching the show a little bit on Amazon, but I don't want to watch it. My son got mad because he's really interested, but of course that show is not for kids. And he was interested that I got this one particular game. But this one's supposed to be, I believe this is the very, very first one after the Fallout. So I want to check it out. Definitely want to play this one for sure. Then I got another, then I went to my local GameStop again, and I got two games. One that I was really looking for a long time. First one I got is 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim for the PS4, an RPG game. This one I remember seeing it, and it's basically from the makers of Odin Sphere. And if you guys don't know, Odin Sphere was a 2D side-scrolling RPG game that was very popular back in the, oh my god, I think it's on the PS2. But I know that they made PS3, but it was mostly on the PS2. And they were really fun RPG games. So can't wait to play this one. I believe this one. Yeah, really cool. And then the other one that I was looking for forever, but the price never went down, but I got it a little bit cheaper, is Days Gone for the PS4. This is kind of like a post-apocalyptic game similar to, they say it's very similar to Grand Theft Auto or games like Mad Max on the Xbox One. So, but it's a biker type of game. I really, really want to play this one. Is it a biker game just because it has the motorcycle? I don't know, but this one seemed really fun. I want to say many years back, I did see a review of this game, and it looked pretty cool. And ever since then, I've been wanting to get it. But like the price doesn't come down, so it's not a very cheap game. But anywho, moving right along, right before I went on my trip, I bought this one. This one game that a lot of people have considered to be a crappy game, but I've always been curious. I played it a little bit, and I've always was curious about. Mario is Missing for the NES. Really good shape. Got it for a decent price. Didn't spend a lot on it, but I wanted to get this one. I didn't know whether to get the Super Nintendo version or the NES version. I know that the NES version of Mario's Time Machine goes for a lot of money. This one was going for a lot more money, and I just decided to buy it because the other ones were more expensive. So yeah, got that one. Then I took advantage of Prime Day. They were having like Prime deals and found some games for cheap. First one I got is the continuation of this series, Snow Park Snow Day for the PS5. This one I'm really looking forward to it. They say that it's the part 3 of the Stick of Truth and the Fracture But Whole. If you guys know what that stands. And this is part 3, so it was going for super cheap, and they changed kind of like the from when I looked at the what the game style was. The other ones are RPGs. This one's more like an action platformer RPG adventure game. So this one looked very interesting. And then I took advantage because I bought another limited edition game that was going for a lot more money, but I got it for a little bit cheaper online on Amazon, and that is Cannon Dancer Osman for the PS5, the limited edition version of Strictly Limited Games. This one comes with a lot of goodies. If you guys were to lift this box, it is super, super heavy. Comes with the game, comes with an art book, comes with a bunch of little goodies. Like, you know, if you guys saw my video about a couple of months ago about a couple of games from Strictly Limited, a couple of limited edition boxes that were going for super cheap, and this one was no exception, so I got that one. Let me put it over here because it's very heavy. And then I visited, I also, after I got back from my trip, those are some of the games that I bought during my trip that I received after I came back from my trip. There'll be a couple more that I'll show you guys in a minute. But after I got back from my trip, I visited my local retro game store here in the area, and I found 2 games. One of them is a very common game that I had back in the days that I really enjoyed, and that's Goal for the NES. For a couple of bucks, $6. But the one that I got that really caught my eye, and I've never heard of it before, and there's not much info on it out there. There is a really good review, but this is a game that caught my attention and caught my eye. It's called Falling Stars for the PlayStation 2. This one, basically, you play as this one little girl who gets, who has an uncle who's been possessed by an evil spirit, who's mining a lot of jewels in a cave. And so the little girl gets possessed herself and is out to find out what the uncle is doing. Very interesting game. They call this like a beginner RPG for kids, but I know that people who reviewed it said otherwise, that it's not really for beginners, but it has a unique thing where the way that you dress, or the way that she dresses in the game with different outfits, you get a different reaction to the NPCs in the game, or the villagers. So it's a pretty unique game, and even though it was 20, I got it. They sold it for me for $15. So really caught my eye, and this is one that I'm very curious about. So if you guys know anything you guys want to say in the comments below, let me know if you guys have played some of these games, and let me know, because this one was one of the most peculiar finds that really caught my attention when I got it. So yeah. And then, of course, I visited my local thrift store. It's always been a bust for the last couple of months that I've been going there. But this time around, I found a game that I really wanted. A game that I got it brand new for a decent price, because at GameStop they sell it for a little bit more money. Lost Judgment for the Xbox One. Now I got it brand new for like $10. This is very basic. If you guys play Shenmue, this is a very game reminiscent to it. I even want to say that they called it like the spiritual successor of Shenmue. But one interesting thing that I remember learning is that in this game in Lost Judgment, there is a section where there's like arcades or something, and then you're able to play. It's like there's a hidden game in there. I want to say it's Shenmue, but I think it's other games. But you're able to play other games in there too. But aside from that, this is a game that had really caught my attention before. So yeah, very interesting game. I'm sorry, guys. I have to be drinking water because my allergies have been kicking in earlier, and it makes it really harder for me to like losing my voice and whatnot. But anyways, more games that I got when I bought during my trip. That while I was taking a rest, I bought a couple of games online. And there are some games that that I got really interested in. First one is it's called MiG-29 Soviet Fighter for the Nintendo NES. Now, if you see this cartridge, this is one of those how do you call it? Not reproduction, but unlicensed games that came out back in the days. I got a couple of those already. I got the Quattro Adventure. I got Ultimate Stuntman. And then this one caught my eye because I saw someone reviewing it, and it looked very interesting. It plays very similar to Afterburner, a mixture of Afterburner, Top Gun, but the nicer thing about this one is that you can land your plane easier. It's an overhead shooter. Weapons that you collect in a certain level go on after the later level, so it's a very unique game. And I got it for a decent price. This one, not so decent price, but not too bad because it's a game that's going higher up in price, and it's Quattro Arcade. Now in this one, you have 4 games in one. You have F-16 Renegade, CJ's Elephant Antics, Stunt Buggies, and Go Dizzy Go. Now, I saw a review of Stunt Buggies. This one is like a puzzle platformer. This one's like a platformer, and of course Dizzy. It's another spin-off of the Dizzy the Adventurer games. So it's another one 4-in-1, and it looks like it used to be a rental back in the days. And if you guys see these switches right here, basically it tells you guys can read up. Either it works on position A, but if it doesn't work on position A, put it in position B only if it doesn't work on that on your NES console. But yeah. And then another game I got for the Nintendo 64 I've been looking for. Finally got it for a decent price because it goes a little bit higher. Blues Brothers 2000. This one's a 3D platformer based on the Blues Brothers movie. I think the 2000 movie. Still haven't seen the Blues Brothers movies, and I have them both. I need to check them out. Nonetheless, this is a game that really caught my eye. So yeah, wanted to play it. And then y'all gonna laugh on this one. I'm actually collecting these. I'm still missing another one that's supposed to come. It didn't come as of the making of this video, but if it does make it before I put the video out, I'll add it at the end. But this one is Sesame Street Big Bird's Hide and Speak for the NES. Really nice copy. Very cheap game. But yeah, this is one that I'm collecting. I'm a huge fan of the Muppets, huge fan of Sesame Street. And even though these are little kids games, I have a little daughter who she actually thought it was interesting. She saw it and she wanted to play it. So I'll let her play. I'll let her play it and see how it goes. Anyways, the other game that I got, as I mentioned earlier, Mario's Time Machine for the Super Nintendo. Mario's Time Machine for the NES goes for a lot more money. I wanted to get the NES versions of them, but at least I got 1-in-1. Definitely want to give these a shot, even though people say they're not that great. So yeah. And then finally, we move on to this last weekend's buys. I bought something really cool. I'll explain in a minute, but they were having a sale again at GameStop. Buy 4 games for $10 each if they're $4.99 or under, and I got a few. First one I got is the DCL game for the Xbox One. Basically, this is a drone action game. You control a drone. When I told my son what this game was about, he got really excited and said, I really want to play it. It seemed interesting when I saw it, but I mean, it was going for the 4 for 10, so I got that one. Then the next one I got, okay, so this one is one that I've been looking for a really long time, but I learned something after I bought it, and I don't know. It's Eve Valkyrie for the PS4. It's a shooter game where you have to use the VR. They say that you don't need the VR to play it, but unfortunately, they say that this game as of 2022 is basically unplayable. You guys leave a comment below if you know, but I guess it's the multiplayer, but I'm not interested in multiplayer or online playing. I just want to play it individually. So yeah, let's see how this one goes, if it works. And, you know, at least I didn't spend a lot on it. The next one is another game that I've been keeping an eye out on for a while. It's Pharaonic Deluxe Edition. The guy says, oh, it comes with 2 CDs because it's a soundtrack and of course the game. This is basically a platformer. Man, from what I remember, I don't have the cover, but I know that this is a game I've been wanting to get, but I've been leaving behind because it was rather cheapy. And it's basically, they say that it's a really hard game, but it's kind of like a action platformer 3D style. So yeah, and then finally Battlefield 5 for the Xbox One. I have the other Battlefield games. And of course, since I have 4 already, get the sequel 5. World War II inspired events. I really want to check that out. So yeah. And then finally, on the same time that I bought those, my son, peer pressure, you guys, from your kid. I can't believe my kid. We saw a copy of this game. They told me it was the very last one, and my son was like, get it. What if it's not going to be common and this and that? And I told my son, I'm pretty sure it's going to be common, but I don't know. I bought the NES, Nintendo World Cup NES Championship Edition game. Yes, I bought the one that has the goodies in there. So you guys know how much I spent on this one, like about $60. I wasn't going to get it, but then my son kind of got in my ear and said, maybe it's one of those games that, you know, they may not have a lot, because I haven't really quite seen them since they came out. I know as of the making of this video, this game came out not long ago. I would say about a month or 2 ago. And I haven't really caught a lot of these. So, and it comes, if you guys see the videos, it comes with a little cup. It comes with an NES Gold cartridge that does not work on the NES, unfortunately. Would have been great if they did that, Nintendo, for the money you made us spend. And you know, a lot of other goodies. I could think they're like sales of the images or cards or postcards, like art, you know, for some of the games. But the game looked really fun. My son was like, me and him, when we saw it, we really looked like we were going to enjoy this one. Like the challenges and all of that. Now, for those of you that don't know, this particular game is based on a cartridge that was going out in the 80s that they only made them during a championship. It was like a championship league that they had, Nintendo had back in the 80s. That only a couple of people got to play that were contestants of these championship games. The particular cartridges are considered to be some of the most rarest games on the NES. And of course, I guess Nintendo, capitalizing on that nostalgia and that rare find, decided to make this thing right here. So yeah, but hopefully, you know, we have fun with this one and see how it goes. So yeah, I'll put this one here. Kind of, you know what, man? Let me do this because I don't have any decor. I got lazy, so let's put Cannon Dancer. Let's put the deluxe editions that I got for this month. There you go. Now, items that I bought during the month, aside from games, bought a couple of things. Not that many. But I did wanted to show it off because I thought they were pretty neat. First one that I bought, Captain Lou Albano wrestling figure. I bought this one at Target. It was going on sale for like 11 bucks. And of course, Captain Lou Albano, you know, was one of the wrestlers that came out back in the days with Cyndi Lauper. And as you can see, he has his gold. If you guys can see right there, he has the gold plaque of the record, I guess. And of course, Captain Lou Albano, there's another meaning for it, and that's because he was the star of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. He was Mario, and we got to give him his dues right there. You know, Captain Lou Albano. Next thing I got in Disney, I got 3 things at Disneyland. Now, when we went to Disneyland, we kind of didn't want to buy a lot of, we didn't want to buy a lot of the items and stuff like that. But I did buy a couple of things. First off, I bought these 2 Hot Wheel cars. You know, I bought Alice from Alice in Wonderland, and of course, Steamboat Mickey. I love this one. And of course, I really like Alice in Wonderland. I am a fan of Alice in Wonderland. I am a fan of Mickey Mouse, of course, the original old school Mickey Mouse. I'll put them right here. Got them for a couple of bucks. I mean, I spent a few dollars more than I would have spent if I would have gone them at the store. But all in all, it's a memento. And then finally, can't go to Disneyland without getting the McMeister himself, Mickey Mouse. So I bought a Mickey Mouse plush. The only thing I bought at the park. And one of the reasons why I got this guy is because the last time I went to Disneyland, not Disney World, I bought an Oswald plush about the same height. And of course, Oswald and Mickey are like the actual brothers. Oswald, the original Walt Disney creation. Then came Mickey Mouse. And they're the brothers. And one of the most special things that I got to see at Disneyland, aside from the enjoyment of my children, that they had so much fun, I got to meet Oswald himself, the character. And out of all the characters that we met and we saw with my kids, my son and I, and even my daughter got really excited to see Oswald. And we got to see him, and we got to shake hands, hug him, and, you know, I really like Oswald. So aside from Roger Rabbit, those were the only ones, and that's who I got. And with this, I leave you guys be. This has been my July 2024 video game haul. As you can see, I got a lot of great things. The memories that I got this summer for my kids' trip. Captain Lou Albano himself. Oh man, I covered Captain Lou. How can I do it, man? I gotta give his credit. Let's put Mickey Mouse right here. Let's. There you go. There you are. Can you see him? Let me see. Give him a shot. There you are, Mickey Mouse. And this has been my haul for July 2024. Hope you guys are having a great summer. Hope you guys are enjoying your time with your families and friends, as I have been doing. It's been awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys take care. Peace out. Hey guys, so there's one more game that I wanted to show you guys that I got, but it just came right before I was going to edit the video. And the one that I just was waiting for is Sesame Street 1, 2, 3 for the NES. So yeah, this is another game that I got. I got it on eBay. I got it for really, really cheap. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm collecting these as a collector's, collecting all the Sesame Street games. But anyways, this is the final game of the month of July 2024. Hope you guys enjoy the video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.